Tony, why don't you hold my mic, too?
Welcome to Texarkana Game Day live from the Star at Frisco with the head coach, Josh Gibson. So you have a long tenure here at this particular stadium. Played here quite a bit.
We've played a lot of games here. Kids love it here. I always ask them if we can get anywhere you want to go, and we tell them where the other team's coming from, where would be some neutral points, and they all just start saying Star, Coach, the Star. So they love playing here. Our fans love it, and just a great venue for high school football games.
Man, I agree. That's my first time in here. It's really impressive. Tell me about this team you're playing tonight. We can't find anything on them, but I know you're the man who knows.
Well, probably about 4 to 15 years ago, they were 1-9, 0-10, 2-8 every year. Salado was, and the gentleman who's running their program, he does a really good job. He's the head coach at Laga Vista, and they ran slot T. And then he took over as the athletic director at Stephenville and didn't want to be just an AD, wanted to get back in coaching. So he takes over Salado, and everybody's like, man, that's a tough job. And immediately he has success, and 2 years in a row, great records, great playoff football teams. They're really disciplined, and they'll run the football and eat the clock. That's what they do.
Sounds real familiar, Coach.
Yeah.
That entire story sounds familiar.
Yeah, it is really familiar. He's been doing it a lot longer than I have, and Coach Hare, everybody that talks about him knows he's a really good coach and plays really good disciplined football, and so we're going up against a good one today.
So what we kind of heard is they get up to the ball really quick, so you guys aren't going to have time to move around. Does that impact the way you do business tonight on defense?
Not really. We adjusted in practice, and so we have our scheme that we're going to line up to that. And the thing that we worked a lot this week, and we had a really good quarterback action doing it. We had a good scout team quarterback. He's holding the mic right here. He was slow, but he could do the cadence. That'll make you jump. So they go a lot on sound, a lot on 1, a lot on 2, and on 3. And if you're not disciplined, man, I don't know if I did anything good besides bark this week and tried to draw our guys off sides. And our guys did a really good job. I think through the whole week, probably ran 100-something plays. We jumped 3 times, and that's something that we have to limit against these guys.
Well, at the experience here tonight, they shouldn't be shocked by the environment, obviously.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be starstruck.
No, that's one thing we feel good about is playing in here. The first time we played in here, it didn't go our way. Played my dad's team, and they were 9-1 and had 2 Texas Tech offensive linemen that just drummed us in the ground, and that's when we were kind of on the way up. The next year we won state. We flipped it when we came back, and we hadn't lost since then. But our kids have played here. I think this will be our 6th time, and they're comfortable playing here. They love playing here. I think it can kind of get a wow factor in somebody's eyes when they haven't played here yet.
Well, I mean, I'm wowed right now. I'm a little nervous. I don't know why.
Coach, you guys are another step closer to that ultimate goal of a state championship. What's been your message this week to prepare for this game?
Big thing is these kids know it. This is the only thing we can look at right now is this game. If we don't, there's upsets that happened yesterday. Great East Texas team go down like Longview, and I mean,
you didn't have to mention that.
Well, no, but our kids get that message, and it's like that's what can happen. It happens in Texas high school football. There's several other of those games, and we don't want to be one of those. So all we can focus on is this week to try to earn one more week, and if we earn one more week, we're in good shape. And so everything was focused this week. We had our best week of practice and focused on beating Salado, and then trying to get another one.
I had the opportunity to talk to Torrey Phillips at a basketball game this week, and he was like, man, I love playing a team like we're playing. Just run the ball. They're going to try to run it right at me. He's ready for it. He was excited.
Yeah, that's a good thing we have against this type of front and this scheme is we got 4 big dudes with the 3 big guys, and then Cam in the middle and Jamie all rotating in. I think it is their style of game. Try to win in the trenches type deal.
Yeah, well, good luck tonight on that.
Coach, I've heard the difference between the wing tee and the slot tee is they run the ball about 90% of the time. Wing tee, you're more capable of throwing the ball on a normal basis. You think your big line is up to the task of stopping them tonight? Yeah,
and in that respect, sometimes it does make it a little bit easier to prepare for that, but then they'll go 4 downs and they don't care. They'll go for a 2 or 3 yard gain on 4th down and be fine with and content with going 2 and 3, 2 and 3. And I love that part about the calling of the game of discipline with slot T coaches. I'm not as patient. Like I want to hit one every now and then, and so we spread it out and we'll try to hold people accountable with the big throw. But they don't do that. They're going to run it straight at us, and they're not going to panic. And our guys have to be up to that challenge, or it's going to be a long day.
I've heard they had 3 really good running backs over there. So.
Yeah, they do. They've done a good job with them all too. Their quarterback's a good football player, and their linemen play pretty physical.
Well, tell us about the health of your team. You know, we had a bye 2 weeks ago. You know, coming into our first round playoff team or playoff game. You know, how are we looking? You know, this evening.
Yeah, everybody who can play is playing, and we're almost 100% across the board. You know, Ben's got a little bit of turf toe. The 3 guys who we lost earlier, we're not going to be playing with those guys, and we know that they've gone through surgeries. But everybody else is healthy, and that's good for us. This will just be our second game in a row that we've had that for a long time. So we're excited about where we are with our health.
Coach, we'll let you get back to it. Best of luck to you tonight. We'll talk to you post-game.
All right, we're fired up.
Let's take you to a commercial.
Good luck, Coach.
Good luck.
Thank you, Coach. Hey, are we still good for?
Yeah, y'all can come back and
take it to him. I'm gonna do a commercial
because you probably want it. And you bring some guys. It's nice back there. I mean, it's pretty cool.
I'll bring one in. Really, don't do anything out of the ordinary. Just get stuff. Cool.
Yep. It'll be cool. All right, see y'all.
It's still live.
Sorry about that. I thought we were on commercial break. Man, I am excited. Coming in the stadium, it's beautiful. We had to drive around this thing twice, figure out exactly where to go. It's my first time here. I knew it was nice, but you know the way they built it up around here is beautiful.
I lived right down the street for about 10 years. None of this was here, so it's actually my first time ever being able to come to this facility. I would always go watch the high school games over in Arlington, but this place here is definitely nice. It's a great atmosphere, and I look for Pleasant Grove to come out and show you exactly how much they like this atmosphere.
Yeah, you know, the thing with playing Pleasant Grove, if you're a running team, if Pleasant Grove gets up, you know, it's hard to pass on Pleasant Grove. I mean, you have to get the ball out quick, because when they come, I mean, you don't want Landon Jackson, Marcus Burris, or you definitely don't want to get hit by Nick Martin, you know. Like I said, I don't really know a whole lot about Salado other than they get down quick to the ball. The ball flyer was telling me they're out of a really good district, and they're better than their record shows. So he's kind of excited to see how PG, what they're going to do to stop the run against them.
Salado got beat by 2 undefeated teams in Mejia. So, they had a tough schedule.
Yeah, he said their quarterback's really good, offensive line is big, and 3,000-yard rushers. So, you know, round 2 of the playoffs, I don't know if you're supposed to face a team this tough normally, but we'll see what happens. I mean, Pleasant Grove's got some players, too.
They do. Salado's not built to come from behind. If PG gets up on them, they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Let's do this. Let's go to commercial break real quick, and we'll be right back in a couple minutes.
Find yourself in need of emergency care, come see us at Texarkana Emergency Center. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We are locally owned with board-certified physicians for all your emergencies. We accept all private insurance. At Texarkana Emergency Center, we have on-site lab, pharmacy, x-ray, ultrasound, and CT. Come see us at Texarkana Emergency Center. Real ER without the wait. The next generation of emergency care.
Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful, handcrafted stone is our passion, and we ensure our customers receive the quality they deserve. We stand by our word, we stand by our products, services, and work that we do. Our team of experienced craftsmen and product experts have been perfecting their craft of fabricating and installing stone since 1998. Visit the Design Center at Red River Lumber to see the many beautiful stone options available for your next project.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is the kind of person you need. Express Employment Professionals can help because we understand what it takes to hire good people. It takes real people, real interviews. We find good people, matching the right skills for the right jobs. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Go to expresspros.com to find a location near you.
We are back at the Star in Frisco, Texas, where the Pleasant Grove Hawks are taking on Salado. I'm here with Jay Davis, Todd Marshall, Superintendent Chad Pirtle, and Tony Langford, unfortunately. What do you guys think of the atmosphere here, and what do you expect from your team tonight?
It's a great venue for a high school football game, I promise you. What I understand is Pleasant Grove West, or kind of our other home field.
Absolutely.
And outside of maybe AT&T Stadium. But really happy to be here, and Pleasant Grove has a great crowd here. Really proud of that, and just look forward to a great game tonight with Salado.
Tell us a little bit about just the management of getting a football team here, a band here, a showstopper here, a cheerleader here. I mean, as far as just from a school standpoint, arranging the travel.
Coach Gibson takes care of a lot of that. Todd Marshall probably may take care of some of that also at the high school. Coach Gibson, you know, at this point, he has a script. I mean, it's kind of turnkey for what he does, and so many playoff games in the last couple of years. He takes care of a lot of the football, and one of the neat things, I think, Coach Gibson, we all chartered down today, and the athletic program chartered the band and the cheerleaders and showstoppers and paid for that also, so they could have a nice ride down. But that just shows what Coach Gibson's heart, and it's not just about football, it's about the kids and about a great experience for them, and so it's a great opportunity for our kids.
Yeah, on the way down here, I was, monitoring Facebook, feeds, and I did see the band boosters give a shout out to Josh and the athletic department for arranging that for them. So definitely good to have them come on down here, not on a yellow dog.
Right. They all work so well together. That's what's really special. And again, as Mr. Pirtle mentioned, they began this communication last weekend, and we're talking about it, just coordinating things, getting meals in place. I mean, there's so much that goes into it. It's more than just getting on a bus and riding down here. It's meals and travel, and I was fortunate enough to be in on the communication. And by Monday afternoon, we were set. We were ready to roll. Everything was planned from what time they were going to eat, what time food was going to be delivered here, to what time they were leaving. It was all taken care of by Monday, by 4 or 5 o'clock Monday.
When on Saturday, or right after the game happens, our phones start blowing up with what different considerations for the next week and what we're going to do, and there's a lot of work that happens from after the game on a Friday or a Saturday to the rest of the weekend to that Monday to prepare and make sure everything's lined out. So on Monday, or really over the weekend, we can start communicating that out to the community and the parents and all the directors of what's going on.
Well, Coach Gibson mentioned how well this week's practice went. How were the hallways?
Our kids are fired up. Our kids are locked in. It's been very special. And I was talking to Coach Gibson about it this week. Just a different feel in our school right now. Just the way we have a great school every day, but the way our kids just in the hallways take care of business, there's just a different focus right now. It's just different. Our kids know it, and it's just different. It's hard to explain. You have to witness it to be able to experience. You have to experience it to explain it.
It is a special place, and it's not just the high school, but middle school, intermediate, elementary, all the way down. I promise you, when you walk in the halls of Pleasant Grove, one of our schools, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different. The kids are amazing, and that comes from expectations from our community, from our parents, from our administration, from our teachers, but it's something that Pleasant Grove community should be very, very proud of, and we are very proud of just the culture on the campuses of our schools, because ultimately that impacts the education our students receive, which is why we're here.
Well, hats off to the staff that you guys have, because it actually takes a lot of people to get a school from one city over to another city to take part in a football game like this. We had Coach Gibson on earlier, and he was telling us about the amount of focus that the football team had leading into this week after watching some of the local teams lose their second round playoff games. Is that something that you've kind of been around to see how good the teams are focused in to get this win this week?
I think so. Our kids, they just focus on doing themselves. They focus on taking care of business every day, focus on their effort, one practice at a time. I heard him mention a minute ago about just taking it one game at a time and playing it 1 week at a time, and that's what we do. And that's been our focus. It's everything about this week about Salado and about what we have to do to win this game this week, and we don't look ahead. We don't talk about that. We just talk about winning today and winning this week.
This past week, one of the things that I was so impressed with. It's just the community as a whole. I was fortunate enough to be able to go to both of the games last night for a little bit, and then we had some Pleasant Grove fans at the Arkansas High game, had our fair share at the Texas High game, and I mean it was good to see our teams. Unfortunately, we are left, and so hopefully we'll be able to keep that community support through this game. But tell us a little bit just about the community.
I was at the Texas High. I saw you guys last night at the Texas High Independence game last night, and unfortunately they went down last night. Played a great first half, and were, I believe, leading at halftime. That third quarter just hurt them, and they just couldn't recover from that. But like a question was asked earlier in the year, Pleasant Grove has had a lot of success here recently, and how does that feel going to deep runs in the playoffs? And my answer, and it still holds true, is it's not necessarily, we're all Texarkanans, and we all are going to support each other. I was out last night supporting Texas High, and supporting Texarkana, and there were a lot of our athletes who are going to be on the field tonight. They're not around me directly, but in the area that I was in. I
saw a lot of the PG football players.
And they were there supporting their community, and that's something I think we can really be proud of. Is that whether they're playing or we're playing, when we have the opportunity, we're going to go support each other and look forward and hope that Texarkana ISD and Liberty ILO and Arkansas High, as we progress through, hopefully they come out and support Texarkana and support us, because we're going to do the same thing when they're rolling, in the playoffs too.
Guys, one thing I've noticed is that we travel well. Our crowd has to be about 3 times the size as their crowd, and I don't know if y'all have noticed, this stadium really carries noise. When we start putting up some points, it's going to get loud in here.
Very true. And what's really special and cool is I got here just a little bit ago, and I've talked to several of our fans who had been here. They watched most of the game before this game, and because they'd been here in so long, just anticipating our game, and they'd been here. One person shared with me they got here as the first game was kicking off. Another group of people shared they got here at halftime of the last game. So yes, we travel very well, and it's awesome to see how they're here and have been anticipating this and ready to go.
You can just hear the buzz and the excitement in the air right now, waiting for kickoff. We're about 10 minutes and 20 seconds away from kickoff. A
lot of them are here to root on Craig too, though.
I had a chance to speak with Coach Stanford last night, and I told him that it's just been great being around the football programs this year and enjoying the ride. It's been great being around you guys all year, enjoying the ride. I was so excited. I was here I made it into town probably about 10 o'clock this morning. I'm out here walking around. It's just a beautiful day, and like you say, it's a great atmosphere. I don't want to put you guys on the spot, but what are you guys expecting tonight out of Pleasant Grove Hawks?
I expect to be more physical than Salado.
You can say the usual.
It just is that I expect the Hawks to show up. Salado, they run slot T, and they're going to trap you and sweep you and cut you and football cuts every which way. I come from a school that we ran the slot T maybe as well as anybody in the state. And this team will do that. And they're not going to throw it a whole lot because they believe that they can run it down your throat, and that's what they're going to try to do. And to me, a big key to the game is our decent defensive front against their offensive front, and who wins that game right there. And I think that will be a big determinant in the outcome of this game.
So what you're saying is we're going to contain them 3,000-yard backs.
I'm saying that
that's the plan.
I'm saying that's the plan. I'm saying we have some dudes up there that will get after them and talk about putting somebody on the spot. I don't know, but I have faith in our Hawks.
I agree. Like Mr. Pirtle mentioned, I know this game's going to be won in the trenches up front. And I like our chances against any front because I know our kids, and I know how hard our kids play, and I know how hard our kids work, and I know how bad our kids want to win. And I think that's going to show today. We've had a great week of practice. Obviously, it's the playoffs, and as we saw last night, anything can happen. It's playoff football, and that's what's so special about high school playoff football in Texas. But again, if we go out and take care of business like we're capable of doing, then then we'll be okay today. We'll come home with another win.
One other thing I want to say, we talk about the kids a lot, but we have some really, really good coaches on the sideline that are diagnosing every play, diagnosing what that offense or that defense is doing on the other side to be able to counteract that. And I know on our side we have some really, really good coaches.
I'll be honest with you. I'm with you. I think we're going to cut their yards in half on that running game. I really do. I think we're going to be more physical on that defensive line. I think they're going to have trouble running the ball. I mean, compared to usual.
I think with Landon and Burris coming from the outside, that's really going to put a lot of pressure on Dylan and Nick to step up tonight. The good thing is I think they can. That's what I think is going to happen tonight. Is Dylan, Hopkins and Nick are going to have a big night.
All right, well, we can see that Pleasant Grove has made their way into the inside of the Hawk. We appreciate you guys for joining us. We're going to get the camera over on them and watch them for a few minutes.
Yes, sir. Thank you all for telling the great story.
Here later.
All right.
Go Hawks.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it, sir. Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jay, what do you think about it? Atmosphere started to pick up a little bit as Pleasant Grove entered into the Hawk to get ready to run out of the field.
It is, and it looks like about 90% of the bottom is filled now, and I expect the rest of it to be filled. Just about the time we actually kick off in about 5 to 10 minutes. Looks like the boys are ready to come out. The flags are raised; they're just ready to run across the field.
We were talking earlier, looking up to see exactly where Salado was, and I think Morgan said it was 175 miles from Dallas. About the same distance, but if you look at the stands, Pleasant Grove has traveled really well.
Pleasant Grove always travels well, and that just goes to show what our community is. I do see a lot of non-Pleasant Grove people up in the fan, so it's great just to see the entire community show up. And to the players, to the band, to the drill team, to the cheerleaders, that just means a lot for them to be able to look back and just know that they've got that support. We've got a group of young ladies, and I should get some bonus points for this, but it's some of the moms, but they get together each week and just put all sorts of shakers together, and they try to sit up on the 50-yard line each and every week. And I mean, normally that crowd just sort of starts from there and then just moves to the outside as far as the atmosphere and the hollering and the support. But it's just fun to see them travel each and every week.
You guys want to give any predictions as to how this thing's going to play out?
I think Salado's going to be able to run the ball decent. I don't think they're going to be able to do what they normally do. I think our line is going to hold them to a minimal, and I say we win by. I think PG wins by 2 touchdowns.
They're being led by their sophomore quarterback. He is a young man, but he has followed in his brother's footsteps, playing football. Plus, his dad is his coach. So this may only be his second year in high school, but he's been around high school football, for his entire life. So I don't think the game's going to get out of control for him as far as the speed and what's going on. But it is going to be interesting to see how he's able to react with Landon and Marcus and Torrey coming in at him, because it's going to be. He has not faced that this year.
Well, I'm interested in seeing how their offensive line handles our defensive line, which is pretty much the same thing. I do not think they have seen a defensive line like we have.
Here come the Pleasant Grove Hawks. All white with the black letters, black helmet, Beast Texas on the back, the Grove.
And this week, they received a goodie bag from Nike, and so they've got some new parts of their uniform. I believe they got some new sleeves and new gloves. So they are a little excited about their
PG play. And the thing I told them was, you're going to see a really well-coached football team play solid defense and make some plays on offense.
Well, one of the things that just has impressed me this whole year is just they played very disciplined. There really hasn't been any out-of-character penalties. And I expect that to continue.
The thing I've noticed is you never know what Josh Gibson's going to do. One game he runs the ball, the next game he passes. You really can't game plan for him.
Before we wrap it up, let's talk about the two local games, the Texas High and the Arkansas game. Texas High game, I think them not having Tracy Cooper was huge in that game.
I came in over, at halftime and was able to talk to some of the Texas High parents, and that was their same concern. They were excited about going into halftime with the lead, but they just didn't know if they could be able to close it out without being able to just hand it off to Tracy and have him be able to help run that clock a little bit. But kudos to Texas High. They had a phenomenal season. Very proud of them. I look forward to them making even a deeper run next year. The rumor is that they may drop down, so I'm excited about that.
All righty, and Arkansas High, they faced a quarterback, tremendous athlete.
I actually heard from Jay it's one of the best quarterbacks he's watched in high school football.
Well, we're about to get this game going. Craig, why don't you take us out of here?
We're going to wrap it up here from the Star in Frisco, Texas, where the Pleasant Grove Hawks are taking on Salado. Texarkana game day. We'll see you guys at halftime. We are out of here.